Welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast with your hosts, Tony Casanova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com and Krista Joy from DisneyWays.com. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast at all times. And get ready for the Disney Parks Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Hey, have you booked your hotel yet for your next visit to Disneyland? We really hope that you'll consider the Anaheim Marriott. They have just undergone a $15 million renovation, and not only that, everything is fresh and clean, and they are the closest resort to the Anaheim Convention Center. We have that and so much more to talk to you about today. We're super excited to welcome Dan Shaughnessy. He's the Hotel Director of Sales, and he also happens to be the son of Eileen Woods, the one and only voice of Cinderella from the 1950s film. Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Dan, we're excited to have you because you're one of my favorite. First of all, I love Marriott's. It's one of the brand I go to first when I'm looking for a hotel. So I'm really excited to have you on the show. But can you tell us maybe a little bit about the Anaheim Marriott, where it is, how many rooms there are? Kind of give us an overview.
Sure. Well, thanks, Tony. I appreciate your loyalty to Marriott, first of all, and it means a lot to us. We are really right in the heart of Southern California, between San Diego and Los Angeles, so kind of right in the middle in what we call Orange County out here in Southern California. And as far as where we're located, we're in Anaheim, obviously by the name of our hotel, the Anaheim Marriott, and we sit right in the heart of the Anaheim Resort District, which is a collection of hotels and pedestrian plazas and walkways and shops and restaurants. We're located 3 blocks from Disney, kind of long city blocks, takes about 15 minutes walking time from our hotel to the front gates of Disney. And then we're also just a block away from the Garden Walk, which has a ton of shops and restaurants. And then again, we're a few blocks away from downtown Disney, where there's a bunch of other entertainment venues, et cetera. So that's really where we're located, again, right in the heart of the Anaheim Resort District in the center of Southern California. And our hotel is 1,030 total rooms. We have 33 suites as well, and we have a lot of offerings for people coming in for leisure stays, going to Disney, and then also if they ever want to plan functions or groups, conventions or meetings, we're an excellent hotel for that as well.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, it's great. And then can you talk to us about the new restaurant and lounge? That sounds great.
Yeah, sure. So we just, as you mentioned, finished a $50 million renovation. And it really was just to help enhance the experience of our travelers that are coming in and visiting with us. So a lot of it was done really in the main lobby area. So you see it, if you haven't been to the Anaheim Marriott in a while and you come back, you'll see it right away. So we really redesigned all of our lobby space. We created a new sort of a restaurant concept, if you will. It's restaurant and bar. It's called Infuse Bar and Kitchen. And it includes the Infuse Bar, which now has a big, huge U-shaped 24-seat bar. And before, just for comparison, we used to have a little 9-seat bar, and we didn't even have one beer that was on draft. And so as part of our redesign, we now have 24 beers on draft of all local craft beers. So that's just fantastic. We do have one domestic pull, but the rest are all really local craft beers, which are trending really hot right now. And then also as part of that program in the bar, we also have a really sophisticated whiskey bourbon program offering 65 different whiskeys, bourbons, and scotches. So when they come back from a long day at the park, if the parents need it, that'll be there for them. And then we also have a lot of handcrafted cocktails, which are trending right now as well, that we've done in there. But I think, for me, the most fun part of it is really what happened with the food and beverage side of things, because we now will serve, food and beverage anywhere from, anywhere in the lobby space into Infused Kitchen, which is a 3-meal-a-day restaurant, which added a beautiful new buffet. And also we'll do it in Infused Lounge, which is just adjacent to the Infused Bar area. And all those areas activate when we're at full capacity for meals. And a big part of the new menu concept is really shareable plates, mostly around lunchtime and in the evening time. So people are eating more that way nowadays with small bites and stuff. So we have a lot of menu items where you can just kind of share a bunch of stuff, and it's just a really fun way to eat. And but the menus are still very true to California California traditions with a little bit of worldly influence, but we tried to just stay as, sort of fresh and local as we could and pay homage to sort of California cuisine. So that's it. Outside of all the, the other beautiful furniture and things in the lobby, I think those are probably some of the most exciting changes that we've made.
The whiskeys and the beer is going to be, I think, a hit with any guest, because I think guests are now looking for that, a little different or something, a cocktail in the evening, before dinner, after dinner, maybe even both nowadays. So I really think people will be digging that. And it'd be great to, I assume, get some cocktails by the pool now, too.
Yeah, well, that's a great point, and we do that. I mean, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned all the indoor space, but thank you for saying that, Tony, because we also redesigned the whole dining deck outside, which is adjacent to the pool area, and that also included the whole pool area. So that has all gotten resurfaced, retiled, even including the pool got all replastered, which is hugely popular, particularly in the summertime here. And we also put all new furniture out, not only on the dining deck, but we have all new chase lounges and seating in the pool area. So we're ready for this summer's crowd to come in and experience all of that. And we also put out, new towels with bright new colors. So it's a real major overhaul for us. And I think, again, for people that haven't been here either before or have been here and haven't been here in a while, it's a big change. And we're excited to be hosting everybody that's been coming through and super excited this summer, particularly when everybody comes back.
Yeah, so you mentioned the pool. What are some of the other property amenities that they can find, Dan?
Sure. Well, part of our refresh was guest rooms. So we did a complete guest room refresh, and that included, all new wallpaper, vinyl. We have the full Marriott Revive bedding package in all of our rooms. So just super comfortable beds, from kings or doubles, whatever guests need here. There is some new furniture in the guest rooms too. And we also did all the guest room corridors as well. So they're really light and bright now. Also with new carpet, vinyl, lighting, and also artwork. So that's a big change for us. Really freshened up the place. I mean, I think some of the other key amenities that our guests really enjoy, we have a phenomenal fitness facility. It's really like a gym. It's way above and beyond, what you would think for most hotel gyms, and it has floor-to-ceiling windows, so you really get that kind of Southern California experience. The palm trees are right outside when you're working out. So that's very popular with our guests. We also have a full-service Starbucks on site as well, and, we know how everybody loves their Starbucks. So that's here as well, in addition to the infused bar and kitchen concept. Very, very popular space. And then, of course, I mentioned the pool. And then really the Grand Plaza, which is just outside our front doors, is just a really terrific outdoor pedestrian plaza that, people tend to go outside and eat and spend time on, when they just want to get out of the hotel. So those are kind of the key amenities, really, that I see our guests using when they're here.
I'll tell you a funny story, Dan. I used to travel a lot for work, and I used to stay at Marriott all the time. I used to actually buy the Marriott pillows for home. Yeah, so that when I was traveling, it always felt like my bed, whether I was in a Marriott or whether I was at home. I always had the same kind of pillow, so it kind of made me, oh yeah, this is okay. I know what this feels like.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we sell the full bedding package online, so you're right. But they're that popular that they actually sell them as well. But that's funny. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, just somebody who's out on the road a long time just needed a little comfort, and I just kind of made the traveling a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's true. A couple other things, too, I just want to mention. And we do offer complimentary Wi-Fi, in all the public areas, in the lobby, et cetera. So that's nice. And then now, if you hadn't heard, January 15th, Marriott initiated complimentary Wi-Fi for anyone who is a Marriott Rewards member. So if you aren't, and you sign up as a Marriott Rewards member, and you book on Marriott.com, then when you stay, your Wi-Fi is complimentary as well, even in your guest room. So that's a huge shift, and they led the industry with that announcement. So again, you just got to be a rewards member. So sign up, that's free. And as long as you book a reservation through Marriott.com, then when you stay at our hotel or any Marriott for that matter, you'll get complimentary Wi-Fi. So that's huge nowadays. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got something that connects to the internet.
So. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, even me. I mean, we all do. When I travel, I have like 3 devices. Yeah, and so I need Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So transportation do you guys offer shuttle service from any of the area airports, or is there a car service like on property if they take a super shuttle? Can they rent a car then
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do have a Hertz desk on site. So you can, if you get here, you can then rent the car here. You can call ahead and have it here. So when you arrive, you could do that. If you want to leave it here, if you rent it at the airport, you can do that. As far as airports, we don't personally have a hotel shuttle, but Super Shuttle or a cab. I mean, we're just about 15 minutes from John Wayne Airport, and obviously LAX is a little further, probably about a half hour to 45 minutes. But the full service rental car here on site is probably the best solution.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I know not a lot of people like, especially in California, unfortunately, driving from the airport, they'd rather take a cab or a shuttle. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, but depending on how long they're here, then they want to have a car if they want to
exactly
go to a different theme park after Disney, or they want to go to Universal Studios, which is just about 45 minutes up the road in LA, or if they want to go down to San Diego and go to SeaWorld, so that's what we find a lot of our guests doing. They kind of centralize here in Anaheim, and then they can kind of go either place. All
right, I'm going to ask you a question because us Floridians down here in Disney World, do you offer any shuttle service? I know the park is right across the street, but do you guys offer any shuttle service to the parks, or is that just they're a little 2 feet?
No, it's a good question. I mean, I guess the answer is kind of yes and no. So, as a hotel, we don't personally, have a shuttle or a complimentary shuttle, but there is the ART, which is the Anaheim Resort Transit buses, which pick up right in front of our hotel. And I think adults are $5 for the day, and then I think children, I'm not sure of the age cutoff, for about $3. And you can get on that, and that will take you anywhere around the resort district, but most importantly, it takes you to Disney and back, and it runs all day. So if you don't feel like walking, the 15 minutes to and from where our hotel sits, you can do that. And but then also, what you would see on other blogs, so I'm not telling you anything out of school, but the Toy Story lot is right across the street from our hotel, and you can just literally walk down the end of our street and across Harbor Boulevard, go to the Toy Story lot, and jump on the Disney shuttle, which will take you over there if you want to save the $5 a day.
Okay.
So those are really the options to get over there, or you just walk.
Yeah. And for the families that are going to Disney and all the other attractions in the area there, are there any special things for families that you have going on, or anything for the kids?
Well, yeah, there's a couple things for the kids that we do. We have obviously a lot of people in town for leisure stays. We do a few different things for the kids. We have a kids station right near the front desk, where people check in. And that has a lot of kind of free things for the kids, coloring books, crayons, things of that nature. And then in summertime, when our leisure customers are really filling the hotel, and we're kind of in our peak season, as you can imagine, of families and that type of customer demographic. In the two sort of front pads, we call them, on the left and the right of the lobby, when you walk in, we usually set up big screen TVs there. One that runs, sort of a loop. I think last year we were running Cars quite a bit, obviously with Cars Land only being a year old at that point. So that runs on one loop. And then the other one, we had, a game console. So I think it was a Wii that was running there, so the kids can kind of sit there and entertain themselves if the parents need to go run down to Starbucks, et cetera. And then the other big thing, which is huge with families, is we have a Kids Eat Free program. So if they dine in Infused Kitchen, then with every adult entree, a child 12 and under eats free. So that's pretty huge, as you can imagine, with a family of 4. If the parents are eating, the kids will eat free. So.
Yeah, that's a great deal. So where can people? You guys have a website, obviously. Where can they maybe find special offers, or how can they, find out if you have any deals going up? I mean, the 60th anniversary of Disneyland's coming up, and I'm sure people are going to want to come out there for Christmas and see all the festivities, and So where maybe can they find some deals, Dan?
Sure. I mean, for our hotel specifically, it's really easy. We have the URL that is AnaheimMarriott.com. So it doesn't get any easier than that. So it's just Anaheim, then the word Marriott, 2 R's, 2 T's, .com. And if they go there, that'll take them right to our booking page on Marriott.com. And then we always have the deals and/or packages page on there. And so as we post and promote different deals and packages, they can find those there. And the most popular one that we pretty much run all year is we have a Discover Disney package, and basically it's your room and $100 gift card to Disney, and that bundle is always going to be the best value relative to buying things separately. So if you know you're coming and going to Disney, then I would encourage people to definitely look at that package, because they're certainly going to save a few bucks buying that versus just buying things a la carte.
Yeah, and we should mention that you are a Disney Good Neighbor Resort. Can you tell people maybe a little bit about what that means?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So we're a Good Neighbor Hotel. That's also listed on our website. We make sure we put that button. I think we might have just swapped it out for the 60th anniversary promotion. But what it means is that we have a Disney desk on property. So they actually physically have a desk here that sits in our lobby next to our concierge. So if people need to buy anything they need tickets-wise from Disney, they can do that right here at the property. And it also means, as I think I mentioned earlier, that we have a direct link on our website. So if they go to AnaheimMarriott.com and want to book their room there, look for deals and packages, and they haven't bought their Disney tickets yet, you can do it all kind of one-stop shop. So it'll redirect you to the Disney site where you can also buy your tickets once you booked your hotel reservation with us. So those are kind of the main benefits of being a Good Neighbor Hotel.
It's fantastic. There's just so many benefits. So that's great. Thank you for sharing all that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hey, I was wondering if we could switch gears and talk about your mom a little bit. Did she ever talk to you about the day she got the job as being the voice of Cinderella?
Yes, of course she did. It's actually a great story, if you'd like me to tell you.
Yes, please do. Absolutely.
I don't want to be so assumptive. So okay. So I will tell you the story because it's really fun. So back, I think it was 1951, or maybe it was 50. Walt was obviously coming up with the idea for Cinderella, and at the time the studio was in trouble. I'm just mentioning this because I'll explain later, but the studio was in trouble, and Cinderella was kind of his Hail Mary. It was going to be an all or nothing venture. So everybody knew that Walt was making the Cinderella movie, and at the time I think he had interviewed, it'd be 3 million now, but I think it was 300 girls at this point trying to find the voice for Cinderella. Well, in the meantime, my mom is living in New York. She's not living out in California. She's in New York. And, she was, did a lot of studio work back then. She was a singer and performer, and she had some friends that had written some songs that they wanted to submit to Walt for consideration in the movie. And so they asked her, as a friend, they just called her and said, "Hey, Eileen, could you do us a favor? Would you mind just singing the vocals on these songs? Because we're going to send them into Walt." And so she said, "Of course, you're my friends. Of course, I'm happy to do that." So that's what she did. She just went and sang the vocals on these songs, and they sure enough ended up submitting the tape to Walt. And when Walt got the tape, he asked whose voice that was on those songs, and they said, "Well, that's Eileen Woods. She's a radio performer and live performer that works out in New York." And he says, "I want to meet her." And so sure enough, he flew her out, and he met her on the spot and gave her the job on the spot when he met her. So it was just typical Walt. He just knew what he wanted, and there's something in her voice that he heard. And then I think also when he met her, because my mom was just such a sweet, lovely woman, and I think she probably personally embodied his vision a little bit as well. So crazy. So my mom always said, and she always told me and told everybody else, so you should always do favors for your friends.
I believe that.
Because she wouldn't have gotten the job, right, if she didn't help out her friends. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what it's going to lead to. How wonderful. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was. And, if you have time, I'll share a couple other fun stories.
Oh, please. Yes.
So a couple things that people probably don't know. So as I mentioned, Cinderella was his Hail Mary, and as we all know, it ended up being a huge success. So then his nickname for my mom was Lucky, because he felt that she was his lucky charm that saved the studio and all that. So that's just a little funny tidbit. But the other piece about the Cinderella movie, again with Walt, was so amazing, is that there's the scene, if you remember, in Cinderella where she's scrubbing the floor and the bubbles start coming up.
Yes.
And it's Cinderella singing. Well, so Walt had this vision again as he's making the movie, and he's asked my mom, could she sing harmony with herself? And she, nobody ever sung harmony with themselves, so she kind of looked at him and wasn't sure. He says, "Yeah, I think I can." And so he says, "Because what I want you to do is I want you to, sing this song in different octaves, and then this is a vision in the scene. Well, back then nobody had done overdubbing, or multiple recordings like that ever. And so here Walt, through that scene, again, never got credit for it, but he was really the first guy to ever kind of come up with, overdubbing, if you will, where someone, sings their own voice over themselves, which now obviously is really prevalent with sampling and all that. So, again, I always thought that was a really fun story and just so indicative of just how out of the box Walt always was. It's, he just thought anything was possible and let's just do it. So that was another fun story. She used to share all the time.
I love it. I wrote an article because I have a Disney blog too, and I wrote an article a long time ago about the secrets of this movie, Cinderella. And one of the things that I read was that the scene where she transforms the torn dress and then she transforms into this beautiful gown, that was one of Walt Disney's favorite pieces of animation that he ever did. Have you ever heard that? Is that a true thing?
Yeah, well, that's interesting that you said that because, it is absolutely his favorite scene. And in fact, it so resonated with my mom that she was later in her life, she was a portrait painter, and she actually painted a scene so it was basically a portrait of Walt, so kind of from the neck up, it was sort of a head portrait of him, and then in the little corner was Cinderella's dress with the fairy godmother dust coming all around his head, and that's what she used to call it. Walt's favorite scene was what she labeled it. So yeah, it's burned in my head since I was a little boy because she used to just always tell me how that was Walt's favorite scene, and then I just thought it was so cool, as I got older and she was painting, that she then created that as part of her work too.
Awesome.
It's hanging in my house, at home because it means that much to me sentimentally.
Oh, I love that. Now, can people still get copies of her paintings?
Yeah, as you can imagine, I've held on to most of the originals, but yeah, she did two big ones. The one was Walt's favorite scene, and then she also did the Three Princesses. So she had herself, Mary Costa from Snow White, and then Sleeping Beauty. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name right now, but she was friendly with them and had painted them in a portrait as well. And she has there's a ton of prints and things like that actually I have most of them, and I'm probably going to be putting them up for auction, fairly soon here. But so that they'll be available online that way. I haven't really thought of a great way to do that yet, but.
Yeah, well, definitely let us know because I'm sure there's people in our audience that would absolutely love to bid on those.
Oh, so. Yeah, I will. It's hard. Yeah, it's not as easy as you think. It's not like I can pick up the phone for the Cinderella hotline and say, hey, right? I got all Eileen's Wood signed memorabilia, et cetera. But I'll figure it out some way. But yeah, so so there's really just some fantastic. She just loved, like everybody did, I think, just loved Walt. He was just such a sweet man, and just really back then, the way everything was done was so different too with the animation. In fact, they used to film her, so they would film her doing things like that, like, hey, Eileen, get down and scrub the floor, and they would film her because it would help the animators when they would sit down and go cell by cell, and they would sort of sketch over live cells, right, to create their animated cells. So that's why even you can tell when you watch the animation from back then how different it is, and it almost looks like live motion at times because it sort of is, right? It's sort of taken from some of that. So it kind of freaks me out sometimes when I watch it because it just so resembles my mother, even though it's a cartoon, right? But
wow,
yeah, just hearing her voice and just some of the movements and things, it's as silly as that sounds, but it just if she was your mom, you'd probably see the same things, just the little nuances and mannerisms or just things like that. So yeah,
it doesn't sound silly to me at all. It sounds amazing.
I know it does. It still gives me chills all the time, just even talking about it now and stuff.
Yeah,
crazy. She's such a she's been anointed as a legend, and she's on the wall in Burbank and got the Legends Award, and it's pretty special to have a parent forever immortalized. I have to say, it's very, very special.
Yeah, It's got to be a little surreal.
It is, yeah. Growing up, and it's it's just a brag moment all the time that I talk about. I just can't help myself because I just think it's so unbelievable. And like I said, now having been working here in Anaheim and so close to Disney and working with a lot of my Disney partners and stuff, they just get such a kick out of it, and they all tease me. They call me Sunderella. So that's my nickname. So so it's fun. It's super fun, and I certainly don't take it for granted, and I'm super humbled by it. But and she was just such a lovely, lovely mother and woman to me, and so it's very special.
Yeah.
You were probably way too young, or not born yet. Did you ever meet Walt? Or
No, I didn't. Yeah, she did that when she was 18 or 19, 18, 19, and so very young. And no, she didn't. I wasn't born until she was 39, so it's much later. So no, I never had the pleasure. But I did meet Roy. I went with her to her induction into the Legends Wall in Burbank, and we had a lovely lunch. And I got to sit with Roy and talk to him, and he was a super sweet man as well. So, and boy, he sure looked a lot like his brother.
Yes, yeah, his nephew. So. Wow. So what do you think your mom would say about how popular the princesses are now? It's just gotten out of control.
Well, it really was. And, she did a lot of stuff with Disney, right up until really, kind of her final years. So they would, when a new Disney store would open, they would ask her to come and do signings. And the lines would just wrap around the block, and it just would blow her away that, you can imagine when she's, here we are, 50 years later. And, and people are just lining up around the block, just crazy just to have her sign something or to meet her. And, and children don't know. The little girls would come up and think that she was Cinderella, literally. They don't, kind of differentiate between cartoons and reality. Right. They would come up, one came up one time and said, Cinderella, you've gotten old, because they literally thought she was Cinderella. So cute. And she got such a kick out of it, because she just, the little girl didn't know, but, so yeah, she saw it and felt it. And, she was definitely a part of seeing how crazy, people are about the princesses. And I was really happy for her that she got to, even later in life, that many decades later, to experience just the fanfare. And they would, when she was at these Disney stores, one time they were gonna, they were gonna cut it off because it had been the allotted time, and there still were tons of people, and she wouldn't have it. She said, stop the line from getting in line, but these people have been waiting hours, and I'm not gonna, have them go home and not get their signature. So she stayed another, couple hours to make sure everybody got through the line and got their signature that they came for. So again, just demonstrates what kind of person she was.
Yeah. Now, have you seen the new Cinderella live action movie?
I have not. Everybody asked me that, and I have to say the trailers looked fantastic. As you can imagine, I'm a bit of a snob and kind of biased towards the original, and there's nothing like the original, blah blah blah. But I do have to say the trailers looked very good. I was impressed seeing the trailers. I thought it looked like they had done a nice job trying to, recreate a live version of that. But no, I have not seen it yet, and I haven't been super inspired to do it. I don't know. I'm just prideful about the original and my mom's version, and so nothing could compare in my mind, so why waste my time, kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm with you, Dan, because there's no reason to redo all of these classic movies into a live action. It's just crazy. Right. They're doing the Jungle Book, they're doing
are they?
Yeah, they're doing they're just going down the list, and they're going to redo them all. Beauty and the Beast, they have casted already, so it's crazy. But
I think some translate okay. I think some can translate okay, but others, I agree, I don't know if they're really made to be a live action movie. I think it kind of takes away from it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a lovely movie. Tony and I both went through the media preview, and as far as that goes, it's beautiful. So
did they do a nice job, in your opinion, of
I think it's respectful. It's different though. To me, it's very different. The story's, a little bit different, and just
it is.
Things are just kind of different. So in some ways, you can't really compare the two. I feel like it's a totally different movie because it is to me personally. But I'm a huge princess fan. We love all the princesses. We've had the voice of Belle on, Paige O'Hara, and she was lovely. And we're just finding that a lot of these princesses seem to be true to life. Just wonderful people that you would hope they are. They really are. So
they really are. Yeah. So if you've had a chance to meet and talk to them, they're all just the loveliest ladies ever. It's like the real life princesses. So
yeah.
Yeah, we'd be happy. I'll send you guys a couple of the prints if once I get your mailing address, I'd be happy to send you out a couple of my mom's prints.
Yeah. Oh, we'd be so honored. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, definitely keep us posted on all of that, and what you decide to do, because we'll let everybody know. So
okay, thank you.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about the Anaheim Marriott. And I'm excited to learn more about it because I haven't had a chance to stay there yet. So I'm excited to go see it now that I've heard so many wonderful things from you.
Well, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate the opportunity, and that, on behalf of our entire staff of hosts here, I thank you for the time and the opportunity as well. So we look forward to having some of your followers and your guests stay with us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's our pleasure. And thanks for sharing about your mom, too. How wonderful. We appreciate that very much.
Yeah, it's special to me, too. So thank you so much.
You got it. Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you in the parks.
The Disney Parks podcast is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. All Disney parks, attractions, lands, shows, event names, etc. are registered trademarks of the Walt Disney Company.
Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you